Alongside Mike Bassick, I'm Michelle McMahon. And yes, this was a matchup that the Rangers should win against the Mets, but could you argue that that win last night and the way it was won was one of the most important wins for this team this season? Yeah. And with the Mariners losing last night, guess what? The Rangers find themselves in a three-team tangle atop the AL West standings, and this is just getting dicier and dicier. Well, good things to come, especially when you mention a player like Jose Leclerc. Leslie, you found out last night for us, he didn't even know he was getting the call for the close of this one. What was the most impressive part about that storyline last night for you? And Mike, who says pitchers aren't athletic? We have another play to prove it with the Whataburger play of the day. Thank you very much, Dane Dunning. Have another look back. It's not just Dane Dunning, but look at this little quick snag. Once again, that last play dedicated to you, Mac. We know you're watching out there somewhere that pitchers are in fact athletic, which Leslie McCaslin so eloquently pointed out yesterday in her question to Will Smith as we welcome her to the show. And Leslie, another thing that surfaced yesterday was that Marcus Semien had to talk to the guys saying, guys, we have to learn how to win in different ways. What more did you learn about that? A little blessing in disguise on this full moon Wednesday. There you have it. You heard it here first. Let's take a look at the weekend series. And Mike, I phrase this question to you. You heard Dave Valley point out the 7.79 ERA for the bullpen leading into this good stretch. So now that they seem to have righted the ship there, what's the key to sustaining it for the bullpen?
Well, you fastball command.
They're going to need that domination here tonight. So does it put more pressure on a guy like John Gray to go deep in these innings with the way that the bullpen has been performing?
Yes.
As we welcome you inside the studio alongside Mike Bassick, I'm Michelle McMahon. We're a perfect 2-0 as a duo here on the hosting set, which we're thrilled to bring that to the table. And the Rangers, they need to get greedy with another win here tonight. What do you say, Mike?
Yes, they've had two very hard-fought, tough wins.
Scherzer, by the way, credits his wife, Erica, for taking the trade. He had a no-trade clause in New York, 4 kids to uproot and move across the country, and said, my wife gets it. So credit to her. Good move, I would say. Heaney was great, as was the bullpen, who has caught a lot of flack this season for the Rangers, but let's give credit where credit is due. The last 4 games, they've been pretty outstanding for this team. And at Citi Field, by the way, 4 home runs in 6 career games there. So look out for this guy here tonight, looking to add another in his 7th career game at Citi Field. We're going to step aside for just a moment. It's a 3-way tie in the Wild Wild West. We break down the tight race and some players available on the waiver wire.
He's not a super fast guy off the mound, and that's why he's smiling so much.
Wheels. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because he worked really hard.
I want to circle back with you, though, Mike, about what Leslie touched on there at the beginning with Marcus Semien taking control. And I love the point that she made about he's not that guy that always steps up and has something to say. So you almost listen more when a guy like that has something to say. What did you make of that?
Well, you make a lot of it because...
Speaking of the playoffs, there could be some key players available wildly with this storyline coming in a couple of days ago. The Angels went all in at the trade deadline, and then it didn't obviously work out. Then they cut 5 guys, and they're not no-namers. These are really impactful players. Help us make sense of this. What does this mean, Mike? Hey there, Marcus Semien leading off tonight as always. And how about Mitch Garver? And the month that he has had in August, 8 home runs this month. He is the Smoothie King, ruled the day. 4 home runs on the road trip and 16 RBI in 23 games this month. He's been so solid. What has he meant to this batting lineup? That's right. More on that Leclerc surprise close later on in the show. But Mike, what can a win like that do for a team's confidence? Of course, the Rangers have been so good this season. They took a dip. Now what does this win do?
And Mike and Michelle, I hope the only people that are streaking is the Rangers game streak tonight, not anybody else.
We hope so too, but hey, anything's possible in the city of dreams, as we like to say. Leslie, thanks so much. Can't wait to hear her interview with Martin Perez later on in the show, but let's dive deeper, Mike, into Jose Leclerc. And speaking of the Mets, let's take a look at their casualties. They have one of the highest payrolls in baseball, such high expectations this season. To say they fell apart is an understatement. What the heck happened?
Well, first of all, I'd like to also say thank you to Erica for sending Max Scherzer to the Texas Rangers, because he
was ready for that, but for 9, I wasn't.
So this guy has no idea that he's going in the ninth inning, has to close it out. You were a pitcher once, Mike. Give us the perspective from a player standpoint, just how challenging that is for a player to be in that position and to not only just get thrown into it, but to also execute in that situation.
Be ready to play Friday against the Minnesota Twins.
Well, on the other side of this matchup, DJ Stewart was quite a pesky opponent. Had 2 homers tonight, 4 RBI, a season high for him, and the game-winning hit by pitch, of course, and then